Hello and welcome to your May 2018 Aries Taurus new moon. This is occurring on Tuesday, May 15th, right after the Sunday we celebrate Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all, birth mothers, surrogate, and adoptive mothers. This is a day that is a beautiful celebration of life through the mother energy, that nurturing, compassionate, loving energy. And for those of us who have not necessarily experienced that in a consistent and loving way, this day can be extremely difficult. In fact, it can be even more difficult than the holidays around November and December. And so I want to remind everyone that Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck and readings are specifically designed for individuals who are experiencing mama drama trauma. These new full moon, quarterly, and lunar new year readings are specifically to assist us in remaining vigilant and understanding our divinity, that we do in fact have access to the mother of all mothers within us, that yin energy within us that we directly connect to with the lunar cycle. So you may not have MDT, but your spouse may have it, your in-laws, adoptive children, families that you've been adopted into, close friends. It affects us all, and it does spill over into all aspects of our lives. Co-workers, managers, people who have issues that we can really boil them down to telltale signs of MDT. I'll put the link below to the telltale signs of MDT that are posted on the Mama Drama Trauma YouTube channel. If you do have mama drama trauma, then you are experiencing some form of emotional or physical abandonment or abuse on a consistent basis as a result of your birth mother, adoptive or surrogate mother's inability, unavailability, or unreadiness, unwillingness to heal her own mama drama trauma. It is a vicious family cycle. So Great Mother has a special Mother's Day message for you. I will also post that link at the bottom in the links below. When this deck was channeled to me, Great Mother was very clear about wanting to connect with her children, most estranged and alienated from her due to our birth mother experience. Not about victimization, shame, or guilt. This is about aligning ourselves with our true identity as children of the Great Mother, Father, God. Because, of course, we cannot heal mama drama trauma on our own. We need to surrender to a higher power that is able to heal a wound of void as deep as that. And so the vigilance and remembering our divinity as being dearly loved children of the Great Mother, Father, God, who are never judged, condemned, or left alone, is a universal identity. But again, as Great Mother has shared with me, an identity that her children most alienated from her love need to know. And with that, from the mother of all mothers, now for the new moon in Aries Taurus. Scorpio, Sagittarius, moon sign people. This new moon is 6th house, 3rd house energy for you. 6th house from your collective celestial unconsciousness, which takes the 1st house moon in Scorpio, Sagittarius. Scorpio in your Sidereal, Sagittarius in the Western, the ego, earth-oriented moon sign, and the Sidereal, the soul sign, which is more celestially, cosmologically, I should say, oriented. You want to double check the links below. You may be Sagittarius in the Sidereal as well. This moon in Aries Taurus is in the nakshatra of Bharani, which means weight bearing. It is a nakshatra that is between 13.2 and 26.4 degrees. It's an enduring sign. It is about birthing. So we're speaking of Mother's Day, and it's about just being able to have that virtuous, purposeful energy of inseminating something to bring it to full purpose. It also has the symbol of the elephant, which can carry things for long distances. And so what you are carrying this particular new moon seems to be a sense of judgment or condemnation from others. There is a sense that you may be alienated from people, or people are alienated from you, not quite understanding you. Maybe there's a situation that you're contemplating, and it's just very difficult for you to get clarity about exactly what's going on. The self-inquiry card is a balsamic moon card. So if you're watching this right before the new moon, it's definitely an indication that it is time for you to download what it is that you need to know. Scorpio in the Sidereal is where Jupiter is at this time. So you will be successful if you do so. So much so you can turn the video off right now, if that's what you want to do. Because this 6th and 3rd house energy of the moon in your 6th house of Aries Taurus, Mercury in your 6th house, and Uranus conjunct after a 7-year stint in Aries is going to give you a sudden insight into your service to the world, your mission, shall we say. And it's something that you've been wanting. It's something that you have been contemplating over a period of time, maybe over the last 7 years since Uranus was in Aries. And remember, Uranus is the planet of soul genius, and so here we talk about the soul, okay, which is intuition. Intuition is how the ego downloads messages from the soul. That's sidereal in Scorpio, where Jupiter is in the sidereal. That's why you would be successful, is because your soul would download to you from a Scorpion space, which is a very intuitive space, whatever questions you have at this time about what this judgment or condemnation is about, what you need to understand about it, and how it will serve you. Of course, whenever we feel judgment or condemnation, more likely than not, it is the judgment and condemnation that we have against ourselves so often, isn't it? You know, it's so often us judging ourselves and just not appreciating all of the hard internal work that we're doing to be better. You know, people with mama drama trauma, we tend to be naturally very sensitive, empathic, very intuitive, because we've had to rely on those senses for our daily guidance and protection more than others. Not always so, obviously. People who are naturals have that through their DNA like anything else, hereditary, but we develop it more than others who may not be necessarily born with that ability due to our experience of MDT. So being very sensitive, in other words, the self-inquiry card is reminding you to go deeper into that space and see what that soul relationship is about for you. What is the lesson of that relationship? Because Mars is in your 3rd house of communication, and you're wanting to gain some understanding. You're wanting to gain some clarity, some practical insight about the situation. That puts Mars in Aquarius. But remember that, you know, your 3rd house is also about your siblings. And so, again, ask yourself, what is the purpose of this soul relationship? And that's a perfect relationship to look at, because you have known them your entire lives. your entire life rather. And you can kind of reflect on that. Again, using that Jupiterian, that wise, that wisdom, that spirit, that wisdom, that energy of the spiritual teacher, of that higher knowing to guide your insight. And so that's how you are approaching this new moon, is kind of thinking about that with that Earth Father card. Great Father brings things down to earth through the law, the word, the logos, and our soul contract is definitely the law. The soul contract to experience Mama Drama Trauma is to teach us self-love and spiritual independence. And so your transformative opportunity is to transcend that fear. Uranus is going to help you with this over the next 7 years in your 6th house. Uranus is soul genius, and it is also about change through liberation. So right now, although you may not see yourself freeing yourself from this situation or from this relationship, the transformative opportunity is to realize, first quarter moon root chakra card, that it is time, or it is an auspicious time, I should say, during this Aries Taurus new moon to decide to take an action to face this challenge so that you can utilize this energy over the next 7 years to transcend this fear, to liberate yourself from it. Great Mother doesn't want you to overlook that through this process, the angels are with you. They are supporting you. They are guiding you to live in loving detachment, which is what we do with Mama Drama Trauma. We learn how to accept what is, to love our mother as she is. Depending on your own unique situation, you may need to emotionally and or physically detach from your mother for a time in order to diffuse the triggers that cause you to consistently and persistently experience pain. Some people need to do it for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, a few years, and others for a lifetime. The angels are with you and really helping you to come to grips with what that might mean for you as it relates to your mother or to a close maternal-like figure, someone who is very caring, compassionate with and towards you. In the center of your reading is the surrender card. So Great Mother is encouraging you to surrender to that fear, just as Dorothy did when she sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow. This is what we see her doing here in this card. That is when she connects with Great Mother way up high. There's a place that I've heard of once in a lullaby. That lullaby clearly being sang by her birth mother, who now is over the rainbow. Clearly she is the adoptive daughter of Aunt Em, isn't she? And having run away from the farm to follow the yellow brick road after feeling abandonment and abuse with Miss Gulch trying to steal Toto, the reincarnation of her birth mother coming to teach her self-love and spiritual independence. Sometimes it is a surrogate, sometimes it's an adoptive, sometimes it's a neighboring maternal figure that causes the trauma. Great Mother's encouraging surrender. And surrender is not giving up. Of course, we never give up. I've been in loving detachment for several years from my mother, and I haven't given up. But what we do is we give up the fight, give up the control, give up the blame, give up the shame, and allow ourselves to be guided through our hearts. And again, another first quarter moon card, by making the decision and taking action to live in loving detachment. We see Dorothy there in the poppy field, and that's exactly where most of us end up in addiction, isn't it? We end up in addiction, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, sexual addiction. That is our arena, and we are trying to fill the void. It is a unending void, and so it consumes many of us, which is why Great Mother has come through the Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck and her readings. It consumes many of us before we can fulfill that soul purpose that we may feel that we have beyond that. Now, of course, everything is divine order, and for many of us that is our designed end, but for some of us it is not. And especially for those of us who are connecting with Great Mother in this way at this time, she's coming through encouraging that, just as Dorothy, right when she was about to reach Oz's castle, who had all the answers to how to return home, right? And so that's the illusion of Great Father in the material realm. That Great Father, the law, the word, the logos, is all the answers. Just like Great Mother isn't all the answers, our intuitive unction, our intuitive knowing, our empathic abilities are never everything. They must be conjoined and operated cohesively with our follow-up action, our follow-up decisions to do what has come through our intuitive voice. Great Mother, Father, Yin Yang energy is always balanced for a happy, healthy, whole life. And so what happens with the Yimiya card is we fall out and we just let go. We let go. We know that we're almost at a point where we're really going to get some clarity about what's going on in our lives, but we just need to take a break and ask for help. Remember, the extensions of Dorothy's personality in the form of Scarecrow, Tin Man, and the Lion were her courage, her heart, and her brain. The brain, Scarecrow, and her heart, Tin Man, cried out for help, help. And Great Mother arrived promptly with the melting of the poppy field. So this new moon, maybe a new moon wish for you, is very much about defining what's important to you and easily finding yourself living in accordance with that. As tough as it may be to let go of old tendencies and relationships that are not supporting the direction that you're being guided to go, that the fears that you have, you're planting seeds, you're asking, in other words, in your new moon wishes, for Great Mother to assist you in easily finding yourself living in an emotionally comfortable space so that you can clearly hear that Jupiterian guidance coming through your Scorpio sidereal, and do so knowing that you have so much support to follow through. Remember, Mars is in your third house of Aquarius, and so this Martian energy, okay, of course in the sidereal it's in the Capricorn, so Saturn rules Capricorn, and so you're really getting a lot of insights already about what needs to be communicated to those around you. And in your shadow position, you don't see that you're already free. See, you're already free. It's just, again, that yin-yang balance, intuitively knowing something is quite different from experiencing it, isn't it? It's quite different from walking it through, isn't it? And so Great Mother wants you to know that you're already free, even though it may not seem like it, Scorpio, Sagittarius moon people. And what you're dancing with is the law of Divine Father, which is about that double yang energy to follow things through, follow what intuitive guidance you're getting through, follow whatever resonates with you in this reading through, because this is the law of Divine Father. Divine Father is the spiritual law that we can sometimes become overly enamored with Oz, the natural law, the religious law, the religious logos, which is a form of the sacred, the divine law. What's the law of Divine Father? Third quarter moon, gut chakra in the middle. It has to do with releasing, letting go of anything that interferes with what you are intuiting is your divine purpose for your material life at this time. And at this lunar cycle of Aries Taurus, beginning with Aries Taurus new moon, Scorpio Sagittarius moon people, it's acting on the guidance that you're getting to deal with these feelings of judgment and condemnation, really establishing boundaries with that, really looking at maybe the work by Byron Katie, which I recommend all the time when Great Mother comes through with this, because Great Mother will directly speak to you as you contact her. Like I said, you could have, if you would have let go of the video in the beginning, like I said, she'll take you through her own paces. of the work if you enact this law right underneath self-inquiry of Divine Father and follow through. But if that's challenging for you, as it is for most of us, we do live in a material world, right? And Great Father Oz is always very tempting and has very great things to share with us, which Oz did. He taught them that they have the power. He made them get that broom, the phallic symbol, the yang, the power, because no one's going to get it for us. Sweetheart, we have to learn to live in loving detachment. We have to learn how to love ourselves and have the spiritual independence to connect with Great Mother, Father, God energy in an authentic way that serves us. And this might be really kind of scary for you at this time, but check out Byron Katie, BYRONKATIE, the work right here on YouTube. Just go ahead and search it and look at how those 4 questions can really change your life this lunar cycle, because what needs to be released is a tendency at this time to people please, to want to make sure that you are not seen as less than, to make sure that you are not being judged. You don't want to be judged, and that's why you're scared. And that's totally understandable. You know, we have relationships that we want to maintain, but if this is a sibling situation or it is a situation at work, maybe it does have to do with your service to the world and the group of people that you're dealing with regard to that, and your values changing and you expressing those values. The prostitute card is always, are you following your bliss, or are you running away from the situation out of fear? Are you dealing with this situation with this group of people that you're working with through your life purpose? Maybe you are a healer yourself, and there's some things that have come up that need to be communicated to your clients about a new approach that you're taking. And are you taking this new approach because you're afraid to continue the way that you've always continued and that has been useful for you? Or you are changing because it's no longer useful for you, but it's just, you know, it's going to cause a problem, or that it is causing a problem. The prostitute card is acknowledging we are all prostitutes. It's the oldest profession in the world because we all must give something of ourselves in exchange for survival. So it's not about, again, judgment or condemnation. It's about being aware of how we are doing that. Are we doing that in a way that honors who we are, or in a way that's selling us out? So Great Mother wants you to surrender and allow yourself to be guided through this reading or through your own insights to act upon the transformation of this sphere. Uranus changing through liberating yourself of this emotional state of being a prostitute to others, to situations that don't serve you, as a result of this holding pattern, this emotional holding pattern of mama drama trauma is what's coming up for you. And in order to do the release work, Great Mother is saying that by centering yourself through meditation, taking the time that you need to reconnect with Great Mother, again, using that Jupiterian energy in Scorpio now and until it leaves in October, November. It's going to be extremely powerful for you with this Uranus in your 6th house as it relates to your service to the world, your health, your work-life balance. Okay, it's going to really offer you a lot of insight into the details of how to fulfill what you may not be clear about, what this relationship is, how to communicate it. This is the scene when Dorothy's clicking her heels 3 times. So you have the moon, Mercury, and Uranus in your sixth house. Use that energy to support your sixth eye, your insight in that waning gibbous moon, which is about the gratitude for what is coming forward this lunar cycle for you as a result of acting on the insights that you have received. Your outcome card for this lunar cycle, which we'll check in on the full moon reading, is Ishel, the Mayan goddess of fertility, rainbows, rabbits, because of fertility as well. And the moon is a second chakra, waxing gibbous moon card. Now, this is actually telling us that your outcome is that you will either succumb to the opinions of others. This is the picture as Professor Marvel picks out of Dorothy's picnic basket to give her a reading. Okay, and that keeps coming up for you in this reading. Do you need a reading? Or do you already have the answers? And this is what your outcome is about. He looked at that picture, didn't he? And he said, there's a woman who really misses you, and that's obvious in that picture. Well, it's obvious in your picture here, Scorpio, Sagittarius moon people, that you have all the cosmological, the stellar, the angel guide and ancestral support you need to transform this sphere and experience the emancipation Great Mother has ensured that you have. Not just from the perspective of divinity, which is eternally true, but in this right now moment of this lunar cycle, by acting on this truth and trusting the guidance that you have asked for. Clicking your heels 3 times, body, mind, and soul, and connecting with that wisdom in a way that serves you and not succumbing to the condemnation of others, but creating from a fertile sense of understanding what it is you want your life to be. That's your message from Great Mother. Great Mother has spoken and is encouraging you to act consciously with regard to this inner space at this time and receive the support. Thank you for watching. Great Mother loves you, and I do too. For more information about Mama Drama Trauma, visit mamadramatrauma.info.